Please stand clear of platform edge as train approaching. Please stand clear of platform edge as train approaching.
Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and yes, the school holidays have started of my trips and we are going to be heading probably to Waverley, I think. I'm not quite sure yet. Michael's with me and we're going to head down to the platform because this is a season 3 episode, by the way, which is pretty exciting. Now let's head down and discover what we can do. Okay guys, so we are now on the platform now. We're on platform 1. As today, I think we'll probably head to Haymarket or Edinburgh Waverley and do some bus and tram spotting just for fun. And our train today will be the 1338 ScotRail service from Bathgate to Edinburgh Waverley, and it will be arriving in about 8 minutes. Edinburgh Park, thank you so much for removing that machine. There were 2 machines on platform 2 and none on platform 1. Does not make any sense. Thank you, Edinburgh Park. And there's the machine right there on platform 2. I'm at the other end of the platform and now I'll have to walk all the way back up to the front of the platform where Michael is. Alright, about to arrive now will be the 1338 ScotRail service from Bathgate to Edinburgh Waverley. This will be our train to take us probably to Edinburgh Waverley, I expect.
Is it not there?
Here it comes.
How long's the bus train?
From Bathgate, Michael. The 1350s from Helensburgh. And the 1343s from Dunblane.
It stops in Paul.
Yeah. It came from Bathgate and stopped at Livingston North, Uphall, then here, Haymarket and Edinburgh Waverley. At the front we've got 334035. And I might get the rear on real-time trains, it depends. But anyways, we can board now. We'll have to just wait for others to get off the train. And then we could get on.
This is Edinburgh Park. This train is for Edinburgh Waverley. The next stop is Haymarket.
Perfecto! And we are now leaving Edinburgh Park and making our way over to Edinburgh Waverley, where we'll do some bus spotting around the city centre. Those poor HSTs, hopefully we get to ride one again soon for the last time.
Which platform? Eh? Oh, there's another HST. Yeah. We're going to Inverness.
Welcome to Edinburgh Waverley, and we've arrived on platform 10, strangely. So we are now leaving Edinburgh Waverley station, and now we're going to do some bus spotting. We head past the famous Wetherspoons, because if we do have another vlog to London, we might go there for breakfast if we get the train early. And there comes some 100s, and there's none parked there except for that Wright bus. That bus is 1128. heading off to Edinburgh Airport, which is just terminating here just now. And then I'll be starting back up to the airport. And I love the new Airlink livery on this. Hopefully they can make it onto all the Airlink buses. That would be pretty cool. But there is parking up. Welcome to our base Waverley bus and tram spotting today. Let's start. First up we have a Lothian Wright Gemini 2, which is bus 380 on route 29 heading to Silverknowes. We also have a Flixbus Yutong on the route 94 to Edinburgh, which is worked by bus 0552. We've also got another Gemini 2, which is 388 on the 29 to Gorebridge. We also have the Lemur 472 on the 26 to Seton. And that is pretty much it just now. But we will have more buses coming. There's Tram 263 over there on an Edinburgh tram service from Newhaven to Edinburgh Airport, also crossing there. And wow, I love the LNER posters. Okay, this is the nice pack of buses. We have 575 on the 43 to Edinburgh, a Gemini 3, and then we also have 1026, which is unusual, on the route 25 to Restalrig. And then we also have M683, which is an Enviro 400 MMC, which is on the 37, heading to Silverknowes. Yay! Some city sightseeing buses. We have bus 222, which is 222 on the city sightseeing tour. We have 247 on the Regal Tour or Regal Tour, whatever you pronounce it. Those are all Gemini 3 open toppers. And then we have M579 on the X28 heading to Bathgate, which is another Lothian Country Gemini 3. And then that MMC leaves as well, that's right, which I already mentioned. And then what tram is that going over there? It's tram 264 heading to Newhaven, or is that 254? Is it 264 or 254? Let me go quickly check. It is 264. Anyways, we have another pack of buses coming. We have a 33 and a 30, and then the other way we have an X7. That's 1144, a double door on the 33 to Westburn. We have 54 on the X7 and Eclipse 3 heading to Dunbar. We have 67 on the 30, and now we have 92 on the 30. That was quite a lot. And guys, I have a pretty sore voice, so you might not be able to hear me properly because I just have a little bit of a sore throat the past few weeks. But now we have some more buses coming. Okay, it looks like we have a private coach at Stillon of London. It's another Yutong, but it's a different kind, I think. But it's a very purple bus, and I have no idea where it's going. And there comes 1121 on the 31 heading to Rig. And we also have 1143 on the 33 to Miller Hill. And I've advertisements on the Airlink 100 on behind that 31. And there's 1109 on the 16 to Torfin, coming out of the middle of nowhere. And also stop there, we have 4201 on the X38 heading to Falkirk. Okay, coming through now we have 656 on the 3 heading to Clovenstone, another MMC. Behind it we have 663 on the 25 to Harriet Watts and 673 on the 15 to Easter Bush, which is pretty unusual because I usually see the Gemini 2-9s like 951 to 960 using this route. And there we have got a 44 heading to Balerno down there, which is yet another MMC because the MMCs are so popular around Edinburgh. That one is 630. And then we have an X18 and a 124 as well. And then all the way up there we have a 113. Off goes 4201 now, off to Falkirk. And then we have 630, 1057 on the 124 to Edinburgh, 621 on the 3 to Mayfield, 1123 on the 16 to Silverknowes, 1054 on the 113 to Pentaclint. And then we also have 8 to 22 on the 30 to Queen Margaret. And finally we have 10:40 on the X18 heading to Westburn, which is a Gemini 2. That was about 100 buses, it felt like. Be careful, you passengers. Here comes bus 224, which is a Gemini 3 open topper on the City Sightseeing Tour. We might have already seen them, or we might have seen them before, because they go all different ways around the city centre. And there's the 113 I was looking at before, 10:56. Brilliant, Gemini 3. And then we have 53 on the X5 to Edinburgh, which is EastCoastBuses. Not unused routes, because hardly anyone uses it. They always use the 124, even when it's the slowest bus to North Berwick. And off go the buses, brimming away now, as we have a 34 coming, which is 428, which is another Gemini 3 newer version of the bus. And then we have my favourite XLB 1126, which never says contacts plus payment accepted. And they've also got the new seats, like that's Gemini 3 there. And then 652 comes out in the middle of nowhere, and also 647 comes out from the middle of nowhere on the 19th to Granton. Yay, we have another Emirates Tram 269 from Newhaven to Edinburgh Airport. Premium economy. They always talk about premium economy on their A350, which always goes to Edinburgh all the time. Why did that Airlink 100 just go up there? I have no idea. It must be diverted or something. Back to zoo buses again. We have 495 on the 26 to Seton Sands. And then we have two Edinburgh tours, which are both Gemini 3 open toppers, 239 and 234. We can see the tour guide sitting backwards at that front seat on top there, which I think is pretty cool on the Edinburgh tour. Now let's see what that 100 does. Does that turn right or does it go straight ahead? That one feels like it's going straight ahead and not turning right. I have no idea why that one did. And 647 is still waiting. And then we have a van hool coming out of the middle of nowhere, which there's the number plate right there, which is unusual to see on a bus. And then we have 399 all the way down there, which is a Gemini 2 on the one to Carmiston, which you don't see every day. But that's waiting at the bus stop right there. Here it comes, finishing its loading. That tram has to beep because there's people on the roads. It's another Emirates tram heading to Newhaven from Edinburgh Airport. That one is tram 266. Or is it 269? I just need to quickly check. It's 268 for some weird reason. And then we also have another Gemini 2 on the 1 to Seafields. You don't usually see a lot of Gemini 2s on the 1 to Seafields, but they are usually used sometimes. It's 376, which I know about. And there it goes going past with a 4, which is my least favourite route on Lothian, heading to Queen Margaret. I used to call this bus the Bra Bus. And there's 574 coming out of the middle of nowhere on the X19 to Edinburgh from Winchborough. Hello, City Sightseeing Tour! Didn't see you coming there. I wonder where that's off to, but I know that the front seats are very busy. And it has started raining, so that's why everyone's probably just scattered inside. No one is outside except for those two people. And then there's also some people downstairs which you don't usually see, and horrible histories. And now we have lots of buses. Oh no! There comes a coach, which is a Futura, I think. Then we have Hunter's coaches, which is a Votar Volvo. There it goes there. We also have an AAA coaches. We have driver training, which is TV7. We have 61 coming out from the middle of nowhere on the 44 to Balerno. And then we have 237 on the Edinburgh tour. We have 678 on the 26th to Clarwood, something you don't see every day. And then we have Big Bus Enviro 400 open top, which is 8931. That was a lot of buses. That'll probably take me a whole hour to write those buses in the description if I do. Oh no, not again. More buses. But don't worry, there's sorry about that. We have 687, which is not in service. I actually feel a little bit tearful right now. Silly me. And there's 1009, and then we also have a 34 to Harriet Watt, also down there going via Research Park, which is a newer Gemini 3. There goes 1009 to Hill End, while we have a tram heading from Edinburgh Airport to Newhaven, which is in the Canberra Obscura livery, which looks like it is tram. It's tram 270. So 270 is off to Newhaven in the Canberra Obscura livery. We have a 34 tried to park there, but there's a stupid taxi in the way, which makes 34 become late. We have AAA coaches again, as you can see. It's going to Edinburgh Castle and stuff. It's a tour guide, I think, on board. But there it goes anyway. And did that come out from the middle of nowhere? Yes, it did, Yuvora. The 85 on the 30 heading to Clovenstone. And then we have 659 on the 3 to Clovenstone as well. And then we have, finally, an electric bus. Yay! Electric bus. Let me just take a quick thumbnail picture if I can. Perfect, that might be the thumbnail picture for 749. Pretty lucky it's on the 29 today. And then there's 435 on the 34 to Harriet Watt via Research Park. And here comes the big crew again, which will take me about ages to do. 1058 on the 124 heading to Edinburgh, which is a Gemini 3. We also have a city tour, which is Enviro 400, and another Gemini 3, which is by Lothian Country. And then the other way, we have about 7 buses. And there goes 1058, 401 on the 19 to Eastfields. We have 8933 on the City Tour Red Route. We have 670 on the 25 heading to Harriet Watt. We have 459, which is not in service. We have 79 on the Route 30 to Queen Margaret. And that will be it because the traffic lights have changed. Quite a lot to say, 459, isn't it, bus driver? Now, there's 265 heading on the Edinburgh tram service from Newhaven to Edinburgh Airport. That was a lot for me to say. And that's definitely 265 just because I saw the number. And there it goes away to the distance. Oh dear, we have the big crew again. We have a Volvo 7900 bus 32 on the route 1 to Seafield, right there. While the electric bus departs, we have 488 on the Patricia Flixbus bus on the 26th seated Sands. Is there anything else coming? Yes, we have the Britannia tour and that Regal Tour, which is bus 246, which is the Gemini 3 open topper, like you always see on Lothian's sightseeing tours. And there comes 574 again on the X19 to Winchborough. We have GP coaches off to somewhere which I don't know about. And we have the City Sightseeing Tour as well, which is bus 225, which is coming right there and coming more towards us now. There it goes. Lots of people are sitting on the bottom deck and the top deck, where it has that because it's raining. 2907 goes by on the Britannia tour. Behind it we have Mayfield Roundabout, the Part Route 3 heading there. Pretty unusual. Then we have a Gemini 2, which is on the X18 to Edinburgh, which is 1036. We have 692 on the 37 to Easterbush. We have 1122 on the 16 to Tarfin, which came out from the middle of nowhere. And there's 574 on the X19, of course. Here comes some more buses now. We have 681 on this 37 heading to Silverknowes, which is parked behind that X19. And then we have 1104 on the 31 heading to East Craigs. And yay, we have a green electric bus, an EV. I've not seen one of those in absolute ages, but I'm happy they're still running today. And there goes that 31 and that X19 too. Okay, another big crew of buses now. 669 on the 44 to Balerno, as you can see right there. Now we have some more buses behind, I guess, which have stopped at the red light. And then we have 575, which is our Gemini 3 on the 43 heading to Queensferry, sneaking out there. And then we have 64 on the X7 heading to Edinburgh. And then here come the other buses again. 1092 on the 16 to Silverknowes, 69 on the 3 to Mayfield. And what else do we have? We have 694 on the 37 heading to Pennycook Deanburn. Right there. Then we have 609 on the 33 to Miller Hill, which is unusual. That bus just made a big massive fart there, I think. And here comes City Sightseeing Tour 228 coming along. And there's that horrible histories again. And here comes the 31, which is 1078. There it goes away towards Christorfen. And then do we have anything else sneaking behind those buses? I wonder. Yes, we do have some buses sneaking behind. We have a 25 to Harriet Watt, which I think is bus 624. Once these buses clear up, I'll be able to see who else is coming. Because there's probably going to be about 100 more buses trying to come. And none of the buses are in the bus lane because they're all turning right to head over to South Bridge. And here comes 624 coming closer, which is on its way to Harriet Walk, going via Hermiston Park and Ride and blah 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 blah. And that bus is pretty quiet. And then here comes 363 on the 29 to Gorebridge. And we also have a Bluebirds X38, 4202. And then we have the X4, the new route, 942. And off that goes off to Trent, replacing the route 26, which used to go there. 53 runs on the X5 to North Berwick, which we have probably already seen. Yeah, we've already seen an X5, so that's probably the exact same bus. And then we have some sightseeing buses as well. And that X38 just started its engine because when the doors open it stops, when the doors close it starts. That's 226 on the City Sightseeing Tour. And we also have 237 on the Edinburgh Tour, which has live commentary, but the other tours don't have that, which I think is pretty weird. But my favourite tour has to be the City Sightseeing Tour. Here comes some more buses now. We have a 44, which is heading off to Wallyford, which is bus 665. And then we have 12 on the route 1 to Clarmiston, which is a Volvo 7900, which is going right there. And then we have more buses, I expect, which have stopped down there as Tram 277 goes by to Edinburgh Airport. I am absolutely exhausted, but here comes 59 on the X7 heading to Dunbar. There that one goes, and then there's a taxi there, which we've seen about 100 times in this video. I just don't mention them because this is not a taxi video, it's a bus, tram, train, plane videos I do. I don't do taxi and car videos, they're just brah. Granton is granted Edinburgh trams. Here comes a tram heading from Edinburgh Airport to Newhaven, which is just turning around the corner now. It's the C.R. Smith livery, of course. Michael's favourite livery on the Edinburgh Trams, which is Tram 266, which is probably Michael's favourite tram on Edinburgh Trams. And then we have a 19 to Granton down there as well, which I meant to say Granton is granted, which I already said, because Granton is granted. Granton is granted. When I keep on saying that, it's just a tongue twister, and then I can't say it anymore, because that's how I get a sore voice. Well, here comes the 19 to Granton, granted. It's bus 424, which is pretty unusual about the number on the side, because look how massive it is. It's quite massive compared to the other buses. And here comes 355 on a not in service, Wright Gemini 2. And here comes the 34 again, which is bus 427 heading to Ocean Terminal. And there comes 242 on the Edinburgh Tour. And then there's nothing else. So I think we should head back down to Edinburgh Waverley Station now, since this is a good time to end our bus spotting video. That includes trams, by the way. Look at the train board, 1430 Aberdeen platform 8. Strange. And here comes our train. It's 334024 and another 334 at the back. Let's head to the very front of the train to board. Now it is time to desert this 334 and jump on board to take this train back to Edinburgh Park. Michael's probably away to have a seat, but I'm going to have to tell him that we're going to be boarding this train back to Edinburgh Park. On we go. And sit down. Perfect, as usual. We arrived on platform 10, which is just right over there, and now we're getting back on at platform 11, which is right opposite. Pretty cool.
This train will call at Haymarket, Edinburgh Park, Uphill, Livingston North, Bathgate, Armadale, Blackridge, Calder Crooks, Drumgella, Airdrie, Coat Dyke, Coatbridge Sunnyside, Blair Hill, Easterhouse, Garrow Hill, Shettleston, Carntine, Mill Grove, High Street, Glasgow Queen Street Low Level, Charing Cross, Partick, Hindland, Dunmuir, Dumbarton East, Dumbarton Central, Dalrier, Cardross, Craigendoran, and Helensburgh Central, where this train will terminate.
I love the old 334 announcement signs because they just say calling at Haymarket, Edinburgh Park, Uphill, Livingston North very, very quickly. That's the only thing I don't like the announcements. I like the voice. That's the only thing I like about these announcements. But they're still lovely. And off we go. We're heading back to Edinburgh Park now. There comes a 385 arriving in from Glasgow Central. Pretty cool. Anyways, guys, we'll see you back at Edinburgh Park.
We are now approaching Edinburgh Park. Change here for the tram link to Edinburgh Airport. Please mind the gap when alighting from this train.
This week can get much further, could we?
Welcome back to Edinburgh Park. And off goes our train to Helensburgh Central. Since we're now back at Edinburgh Park, it's now time to end the video. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Really did you enjoy? And I love the sound of 334s, by the way. Make sure you like and subscribe, comments down below, and we'll see you in the next episodes, guys. Silly bye-bye, Michael.
Bye.
And bye from me too. Goodbye, guys. See ya.